The year is 1947. Winston Churchill sits in the garden studio at Chartwell House, Kent, painting a copy of a damaged portrait of his long-departed father, Randolph. Absorbed by his work, he became aware of a strange sensation. Sitting in his red leather armchair appeared the ghostly apparition of his father, just as he remembered him from his childhood years. Feeling no alarm, he began to converse with the spirit. In a piece of writing he called Churchill's Dream, the full conversation is recorded in detail and reads as follows. One foggy afternoon, I was painting in my studio at the cottage down the hill at Chartwell. Someone had sent me a portrait of my father which had been painted for one of the Belfast Conservative clubs about the time of his visit to Ulster in the Home Rule crisis of 1886. The canvas had been badly torn, and though I am very shy of painting human faces, I thought I would try to make a copy of it. I was just trying to give the twirl to his moustache when I suddenly felt an odd sensation. I turned around with my palette in my hand, and there, sitting in my red leather upright armchair, was my father. He looked just as I had seen him in his prime, and as I had read about him in his brief years of triumph. He was small and slim, with the big moustache I was just painting, and all his bright, captivating, jaunty air. His eyes twinkled and shone. He was evidently in the best of tempers. He was engaged in filling his amber cigarette holder with a little pad of cotton wool, before putting in the cigarette. This was in order to stop the nicotine, which used to be thought deleterious. He was so exactly like my memories of him in his most charming moods that I could hardly believe my eyes. I felt no alarm, but I thought I would stand where I was and go no nearer. Tell me, what year is it? Randolph asked. 1947, Winston replied. Of the Christian era, I presume? Yes, that all goes on, at least they still count that way. I don't remember anything after 94. I was very confused that year. So more than 50 years have passed. A lot must have happened. Tell me more about these other wars, Randolph asked. They were the wars of the nations, caused by demagogues and tyrants, Winston replied. Did we win? Yes, we won all our wars. All our enemies were beaten down. We even made them surrender unconditionally. Nobody should be made to do that. Great people forget sufferings, but not humiliations. Well, that's the way it happens, Papa. But he remained sunk in gloom and huddled back in the chair. Presently, about these wars, the ones after the Boer War, I mean. What happened to the great states of Europe? Is Russia still the danger? We are all very worried about her. We always were worried in my day, and in Dizzy's before me. Is there still a Tsar? Yes, Winston replied, but he's not a Romanov. It's another family. He is much more powerful and much more despotic. What of Germany? What of France? Randolph asked. They are both shattered. Their only hope is to rise together, Winston replied. I remember, he said, taking you through the Place de la Concorde when you were only 9 years old, and you asked me about the Strasbourg monument. You wanted to know why this one is covered in flowers and crepe. I told you about the lost provinces of France. So, what flag flies in Strasbourg now? The French flag flies there, Winston replied. Ah, so they won. They had their revanche. They must have been a great triumph for them. It cost them their lifeblood, I said. But wars like these must have cost 1 million lives. They must have been as bloody as the American Civil War, Randolph replied. Papa, I said, in each of them about 30 million men were killed in battle. In the last one, 7 million were murdered in cold blood, mainly by the Germans. They made human slaughter pens like the Chicago stockyards. Europe is a ruin. Many of her cities have been blown to pieces by bombs. 10 capitals in Eastern Europe are in Russian hands. They are communists now. You know, Karl Marx and all that. It may well be that an even worse war is drawing near. A war of the East against the West. A war of liberal civilization against the Mongol hordes. Far gone are the days of Queen Victoria and a settled world order. But having gone through so much, we do not despair.